Hello everyone, welcome. This is another video of the series, the Fully Booked Translator Formula, meeting new participants. And today we have together Evelina Arven. Am I pronouncing correctly your name, Evelina? Welcome.
Yeah, perfect.
Great to know. So today, guys, we're going to talk about, you're going to meet your new participants, the people that you're going to work together for the upcoming months. The Fully Booked Translator Formula starts in January, but we keep preparing already. So let's start by introducing yourself, Evelina. Would you like to tell us a few words about your background and your decision to join this program?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Evelina, and I'm from Sweden. So my native language is Swedish. I have a bachelor's in French, and I finished my master's in translation in June this year from Linnaeus University here in Sweden. But my work experience is mostly within the wine business. So I've worked as a waitress in restaurants. I've worked as a sommelier in wine bars. I've worked and I work in wine retail as well. So that's a big passion of mine. And I'm hoping to be able to integrate that in my translation work.
You have a very interesting journey yourself. Not everyone has this background. So let's say you mentioned already that you come from a different background in terms of your work experience, but it's always interesting. And I think people that they have already some kind of experience in other fields, it's easier for them, to choose their specialization. So this is something we're going to work in the program anyway, because you come with some already established experience in one field. Okay. So it means that you are, let's say, or you would be able to promote yourself as the go-to expert in two different fields that you can combine your passion and love for both languages and wine in your case. I would love to be a sommelier, to be honest, like maybe in my next life. It's something that I would love to do.
Wine it's an amazing job, actually. And yes, the world of wine is infinite, as is the world of languages as well. So yeah.
You're lucky. So in that aspect, you're lucky that you can, let's say, combine your two passions. And it's amazing that you are from Sweden. It's always lovely to have people from different, let's say, areas of the European market and the US always in this program. So let's say you decided to join this program now. Can I ask you why now? Let's say why this program, why me, for example?
Yeah, well, why? I have two main reasons. And first of all, I want to be smart about my business from the start. I'm starting up and I'm trying to navigate what it takes to be a freelance translator. So that's my first reason. Secondly, I'm looking for support, support of a mentor, the support of communities as well. So those are my two big ones. And why I chose you? Well, I met you through Translator Academy, another community that I'm part of. Yeah, you made an impression on me, and you felt like you brought something to me that I was lacking, that I would like to know more of, that I felt I'm gonna have great use of in my translation career.
For those that do not know, there is a Translator Academy, let's say, network, I think in the Nordic countries, if I'm not mistaken. I had the honor and pleasure to present there, let's say, a kind of interview presentation of my blueprint, 6 steps to start getting clients from LinkedIn. I think that's what you're referring, Evelina. And it was very interesting for me to see that even countries with, let's say, an advanced economy in comparison, let's say, to the South in the European market, let's say, they're still, in a need, let's say, to learn more about LinkedIn and how to approach clients. So that's why I always encourage people to join communities, because we are not alone. The problems that we might face in our countries, might other people in several different countries and even continents, they might face the same problem. So it's good and encouraging to see how other people, they're able, to face the same situation, let's say, and the same challenges that we might be facing. But also I found very interesting the fact that you mentioned being smart smart in your business from the start. And I think that's something that we keep neglecting as translators. We keep starting, in blind, without knowing where to go, without knowing how much to charge, without knowing what to write in a CV, without knowing where to find our clients, and including myself starting so many years ago, that we didn't have any mentors or communities, not to mention online resources. So that's for me great advice, in terms that you could give to starting out translators right now, that start smart, being smart in your beginning. That's really clever. And I would see it as a great advice also to people that might be listening to us and might be, let's say, in a similar situation. Last thing I would like to mention, that's in your particular case, the fact that you are turning, let's say, from an in-house, employee from a different profession to freelancing. Is that so?
Yeah.
I have been working with such people, let's say, in the past, let's say, translators that they might be working in the sales, like we had Lisa Cross in the last round. People that they might be working totally different, let's say, departments of other companies, like nothing to do with translation, like in your case. So for me, it's really promising to see that people, they're following their dreams. And it's also really, I think, inspiring for people that they might be in the same situation like you, watching your video right now, to be inspired by your journey, that they can do it, they can make it. Like, you don't need to stay in a job that you don't really like, or you feel you cannot develop, or you might have a bigger passion for languages and you would like, let's say, to implement. The reason might be different, okay, for all of us. But there are so many colleagues that they are stuck in a full-time job because they do not know how to go from, the security of a stable income to freelancing, which is not, there is no security there, to be honest. But there are ways that you can bring that, let's say, growth to you. And is that correct? Am I describing your situation, Evelina, the right way?
Yeah, definitely. And I, like you're saying as well, that being a freelance is like, there's a lot of risk to it. And I think a lot of people are afraid of leaping into it, or stepping into it, because of the risks that we're being very risk avert, or how to say. But having worked for an enterprise for many years, I feel like, like you're saying as well, it's really, that's not where I see myself evolving. And this is the next step. And that's also like joining this community, the Fully Booked Translator Formula. It's taking the next step for me.
Definitely. So, yes.
I'd also like to add, like, I'm sitting here talking about, like, I have my French degrees and my translation degrees, and I have my background as a sommelier. But the thing is that I've always felt like I've been doing very scattered things. Like, I've been a bit here and there and everywhere. And finally, I'm like coming to a common ground with all of this, and seeing that, okay, I can tie it all up in a way, and take it, like, gather all my various experiences and make something complete out of it.
I see your point. What would be your advice to people that they might be in the same situation like you? And as you mentioned, they might be afraid to take that next step or the risk, okay, in their case, like you did, but they would like to do so. They feel like the same like you do. Could you advise them or give them an advice, like how you were able to do this, maybe?
Yeah, I'm still doing it, and at times
we're still in the process, yes.
But I would like to say, first of all, let's applaud yourself for what you know, what you've done, all the competences you have, and also see that what you have done and what you know are competences. Don't discard things just because it's not formally, you don't have a diploma or whatever it is. Like, you've lived, you've learned, you know a lot of things. And for trying to navigate, well, I'm still there in the process of navigating how to find communities and so on. But yeah, all the social media, LinkedIn, just Googling, and taking like you get one connection that leads you to another, check things out. And it's difficult because it's stressful to launch a an own business, but maybe try to like take your time, do the research,
And
and
find out.
then you make the important decisions.
Definitely. What I really like to tell to people, like, there is no perfect situation. Don't wait to things to be perfect to start. Okay, if we were waiting things to become perfect, I most probably would be waiting still now. There is no perfect situation, not in our personal life or professional life, but also external situation like the war that we have right now, or the instability in the world. That's something that's never going to change. And I think, based on my experience, things are getting worse and worse every year. So I would suggest people not to wait the things to become perfect, just to take the next step. If you're really passionate, if you really would like to follow your dreams, the moment that you feel it, that is the moment, do it, because there's no perfect situation. And yes, Evelyn, I think the main reason people, they really hesitate to take that step is also the investment in terms of money, like the investment of this program. What would you tell to those people that they might be willing to get in this program, because registration is still open until Thursday, but they are hesitating because of the investment, of the price of the program? What would you think about it? Is there any advice that you could able to give them, to those people that they really would like to take that next step, but the only reason might be the financial?
Well, I think if you have the money, go for it. And really do consider it an investment. Like that gives returns, and it's gonna multiply in the end. Then, of course, if you're struggling with the finances and you don't have that buffered, well, maybe consider to ask someone you trust for a loan, or bide your time. I am sure the Fully Booked Translator Formula will restart during other times next year, or in the past years. So do the research, save up the money, and invest in yourself the way you find best for yourself.
I love your approach, because usually what I really like to say to my mentees is, like, don't say I cannot afford this, but tell to yourself, what can I do, okay, in order to afford something? If you really see that something is valuable to you and something will help you to take the next step or to grow personally and professionally, I think not having the budget right now is an excuse for me, because instead of saying I cannot afford it, tell to yourself and have the same attitude, like Evelina just explained, like what you can do in order to afford that. I remember during the last week masterclass, the free one that I hosted, I also explained how I started out, and I had to actually borrow money in order to attend my first international conference back then. But I really knew that this would be, a turning point in my career, and actually it was. So it really, skyrocketed my growth and my income back then. So I don't, let's say, somehow right now regret that decision that I made back then. Last thing, and let's close with that. What would you like to have achieved by the end of the 3 months? Let's say we are in March, okay, April 2025. The program will be concluded. And if you had the chance to achieve only one thing, even if you're going to achieve many things, only one thing, okay, what would that be for you?
Well, the one big thing for me right now is to launch my business, to get started working. So to be working by the end of it, like most preferably full time if that's possible. Yeah.
Also, you have, let's say, somehow, let's say, the security, the safety net of having at the same time, let's say, your current profession. So that's also good for you.
Yeah.
And were you particularly interested in any of the modules that I, let's say, introduced you last week? Like, is there any specific module or part of the Fully Booked Translator Formula that you were really interested in when you saw the structure of the program?
Well, the one that I started working on directly, and that was the easiest for me to work on, was the SMART goals for 2025. Because there I have some images and visions of what I want to do. But I think what I'm pondering on right now, and what is really the important thing, is who is my ideal client, defining my target market, and really understanding who are my potential clients?
We will know that in the first 2 weeks of the program, so don't worry.
Great.
And also, I will be sending you some preparation exercises that you can do on your own during Christmas. Maybe they will also help you to get some clarity on this as well, because we still have time. So that's why I suggest you guys to visit the site that you see here below. And if you're ready, sign up, because you'll be getting also those preparation exercises that you have enough time during Christmas to go through if you wish. It's not mandatory. But also you will be able to get the results, like Evelina just mentioned. Registration closes on Thursday. I would be glad if you have questions. Book a free call with me through the link I've shared in the chat. Evelina, thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you. Can't wait to start working with you. I really like your positive energy and your smile. Let me know if you have any more questions. Is there anything you would like to ask me about the program right now that we're here?
No, at the moment I'm all good, all set. Thank you very much, Virginia.
Thank you so much.
It's
a pleasure of mine as well. Thank you so much for joining me and joining us here. If you have, guys, any questions, drop them in the chat. I will be getting back to you. And that was it for now. We are just one email away, Evelina. So if you have any questions, you can get back to me via email. Send me an email. I will get back to you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. Evelina, you stay here with me and we close the live. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.